What's up, family? It's a beautiful day, loving it, giving thanks and praises to Creator, whoever you may conceive Him or her to be. Listen, I'm piggybacking off the lady here, and there's some strange things going on. There's some strange things going on. People are getting very strange, and people are not who we think that they are. They're not human. Remember, the guy says they're not like us. They're mankind. They're kind of a man. Remember that. When they're supposed to be landing on the moon, what the man said, one great stuff for man and one good stuff for mankind. That means they're kind of a man. Anyway, this lady can tell you that she's seeing a lot of stuff going on. It's not adding up. It's not adding up because it don't look like they're actually humans. Hang on, folks, hang on. We also know we're going through a shift in energy, and a lot of folks that don't belong to the planet are leaving or getting taken out. But there's a whole different video. Hang on, folks. I'm piggybacking off of her.
To hide these beings when they were still feeding off of our energy in our asleep state. It was easier to hide them, easier to make them blend in. But now they can't blend in. And I feel like it's a whole lot more of them than what we actually realize, y'all.
If y'all see what we see, this is getting, the veils is gone. It's real out here.
I'm piggybacking off her.
Okay, because we got to spread some awareness around here. So a lot of us who are seeing the veil lift right before our eyes, and nobody will talk about it. But this that space, and I'm going to share with you what comes up in my face. Okay, come on.
What's going on, Chosen? I have to come on and have a conversation with you all, okay? We need to talk. I am really taking note of a lot of people. I've always been a people observer, but of course now that my spiritual eyes are open, I'm not just seeing these people through my natural eyes, and it's becoming more and more apparent that a lot of the people that's walking the face of this earth, they're not human. They're not human. Now, I know that you all have heard the term mankind, right? There's a reason why that term surfaced. Mankind is kind of like a man, not quite, right? So today, well, this is not just today, but today is actually what caused me to create this particular message. I went to a grocery store. Now, in the area that I'm currently living in, because you all know I've been out here for a year now, it's just something very different. In certain regions, you go into the store. So today I went into the grocery store and I was looking around, just to get the things that I needed, but I noticed a lot of people were staring at me, right? Some of them was blankly staring, others were just like, almost as if I did not belong there. Now, mind you, in this particular area, at that particular grocery store, okay, at that particular grocery store, you don't see a lot of people that look like me as a melanated woman. But then on top of that, yes, I do know that I adorn myself in a particular way that makes me stand out. So I'm not surprised at that. But it's a different type of feel is what I'm picking up when it comes to the looks. It's almost like, why are you amongst us? But they're not, first of all, y'all know I worked in healthcare for a significant period of time. And I did do a lot of psych when I worked as a registered nurse. I also did psych nursing, and I noticed that there were certain traits that, some of the patients would carry. One thing that I did notice is that if a person does not swing their arms when they walk, something wrong, hey, I'm just put y'all on. If a person does not swing their arms when they walk, something is wrong.
Something right.
Just the posture of a lot of these people in this grocery store. Their mannerisms, and at one particular point, I was just kind of going through my items in my cart as I waited in line, and you could feel somebody looking at you, so I happened to look up, and it was this man, European man. He had his overalls on, right? And he was and so when I looked up, he quickly looked away. The weirdest thing, right? And he was also amongst the rest, where I'm just looking like, what am I surrounded by? Even the people that work, not all the people that work there, okay? I did meet one nice lady that actually, many of the people that work there, something is off. And I'm going to tell y'all what I am speculating here, right? This is what my spiritual team has told me. I would love to hear your feedback out there, and if you are noticing the same thing. So as we all know, this current system, the current structure is dying. The beast of Babylon is dying.
Like I said before, the time is up.
Because many of the chosen seed, we've withdrawn our energy. Okay, I told you all a long time ago, I was given a visual of a beast and a whole bunch of cords, and those cords were spiritual cords attached to a lot of people who have souls, right? The chosen seed, and that cord was actually like an umbilical cord to this beast that was feeding the beast, like it was siphoning the energy, siphoning our energy. Especially as long as we stayed in low vibrational energy, that cord would remain. But the moment that we woke up, and made a conscious decision to release a lot of unhealthy patterns, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy thoughts and traumas and things of that nature, that cord breaks, especially when you're doing generational curse breaking. That cord can no longer remain. And so the very source that the beast of Babylon fed on is practically non-existent, because many of the chosen have awakened and see the importance of cutting these cords to the beast of Babylon, right? So with that being said, a lot of the energy that beast was siphoning, I hope that I wasn't covering the mic, y'all. A lot of the energy that beast was siphoning was being distributed to the NPCs, the zombies, the ones that would be considered mankind, right? Whatever these beings are, a lot of that divine energy that would make you human was actually being siphoned and redistributed to the beings that are not human. So imagine now that beast is no longer feeding on the majority of the chosen. There's still some chosen seed that's wiping the crust out of their eyes, okay? There's still some chosen seed that's very much so resistant to the truths that's being revealed to them, right? Because there's fear of being judged, there's fear of having to take the narrow pathway, there's a lot of sacrifice that comes with taking a narrow pathway. Many people just ain't ready for it. But there are a whole lot of chosen seed, enough chosen seed that have withdrawn from the beast of Babylon to the point where it is dying. That spark, that soul, that divine energy, that generating energy that we have because of our connection to the Most High Mother and Father is no longer being fed to the beast. So when it was siphoning our energy, when it had access and surplus, not only did it take what it wanted to get fully fed and full, it was then that energy was also being distributed to the beings that are not human. Now, I don't know what you want to call them. I don't know what you want to call these things, but something, it's like the more that I awaken, the more that my spiritual eyes open, the more that it's obvious. Now, back in the day, when I was still asleep and didn't understand things from the spiritual perspective, I might have said, okay, mentally something might be off with that person. Or, something just ain't right, but you don't, when you're asleep, you just say, okay, well, they're just different. Oh, hell no. Now that I am awakened, spiritual, these are beings that do not have a soul. You can tell by the mannerisms, by the posture, the body posture, I'm even seeing a far more common theme of people that look completely lifeless, like no life in them. It's almost like a dried grape. You see what I'm saying? You all know that raisins are grapes, right? At least that's what I was told. Raisins are dried up grapes. It's like in comparison to a grape that is plump, is full of life, it's vibrant, to this dried up, it's just, you can look at them and tell that there is not a soul present, okay? And so if you find that when you go out to particular regions or you're going to find them everywhere that you go, but there's certain areas where they tend to congregate. Right? That particular grocery store is where I see them often. Okay? That particular grocery store. And I've heard a lot of people say things like it was a conversation that was circulating in regards to the Walmarts. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, who are these beings that's walking around in the Walmarts? That's how I feel about this particular grocery store.
Anybody else just feels so drained, so tired when they go into Walmarts. Like, it feels like their energy is just being siphoned.
It is not right. And what was interesting is that I actually, as I was shopping, out of nowhere, a lady was like, she just walked up to me fast. She works there. She's like, excuse me. She complimented me, on my appearance, but she was like, it's just something about your energy. I can tell that you are very spiritual. I can tell, and some things are just kind of a dead giveaway, right? I got my earrings on. You see what I'm saying? I got my third eye piece here, crystals. You know what I'm saying? It's some things are obvious, but she also mentioned that she just doesn't see people who have a particular aura very often, right? Which I'm not surprised, especially in that particular grocery store. Something ain't right. Something is not right. And I feel like now that the beast of Babylon no longer has your energy to distribute to the masses, especially, it's almost like it was a cloak You see what I'm saying? It was easier to hide these beings when they were still feeding off of our energy in our asleep state. It was easier to hide them, easier to make them blend in.
But not now.
But now,
Nope.
they can't blend in.
They've been exposed.
True.
Wear your crystals and your copper and protect yourself at all times because, like I said before, they're not like us. And they're walking around among us, so protect yourself at all times. Wear your crystals and your bees. Uh, my bees, I make my own bees. I make my own bees. I make my own bees. See them? Yeah. Got a whole bunch of them. See, look. I make my own bees. Make my own bees. I'm going outside. I'm going outside. I protect myself. My own bees. And my copper. Yeah. I just cleaned them, so it's okay. And my gold. Protection.
Okay? And I feel like it's a whole lot more of them than what we actually realize, though. What I'm really starting to feel like is that there's actually more of them than there are humans. There's more mankind than there are human beings, which means that they come in every shape, size, and color, whatever that is. And it kind of makes you wonder, why so many? You see what I'm saying? What are they, space fillers? Are they distractions? Are they, again, gatekeepers, right? Because the more of them, the more easily they can be controlled, right? They can be used as pawns to do the bidding of the powers that were. I feel like they made them in droves, like large numbers of them have been. I don't know, this damn factory baby.
Been doing this, bro. They been doing this. This is the little they releasing the prototypes of what they've been doing. Oh God, look. It's already been known that the military and the government is like 70 years ahead of what they're actually giving us.
Exactly. Yeah.
The stuff
Yeah.
that they're selling us and the things that they're telling us, they're 70 years ahead.
Yeah.
They're keeping us in selective programming and like slowly feeding us the information.
A little bit at a time.
Come on, talk about it because this is some real stuff, bro. This right here is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what we're seeing right now with the veil being lifted.
I don't know what the hell you want to call them. I don't know what you want to call them. I do recall seeing a clip, and I'm going to go back and look that up. There was something concerning the Cabbage Patch dolls. Y'all remember the Cabbage Patch dolls back in the day?
Yeah.
In fact, let me see if I can find that. Okay, so yes, as I was saying, even with the Cabbage Patch dolls, it was a lot of speculations in terms of incubator babies, children that was actually being raised up, like planted as seeds and grown in fields like crops, okay, all types of things that people have speculated. But there was even a time where there was a man, from what I understand, named Martin County or something like that, who was actually had like in the middle of I don't know if it was a circus or more like a carnival, but people would come and watch babies that was inside of incubators. And he claimed that he was saving these premature babies, and it would be tons of them. And apparently there was no birth certificates, nothing like that, to verify who the child was, who the parent was, like where was these babies coming from. I say that to say, these beings have been mad scientists for a long time, right? Constantly trying to play the role of the Most High Mother and Father, to create these beings that are mankind but not human. Mankind
but not human.
I'm going to stop right here, only because I want to tell my vision and what I have saw that just made me react to this video anyways. And I also wanted y'all to just go watch the full video on her channel because we got to give her some support. I'm just introducing you to the real ones. You feel me? Like the realness, okay? The ones who really seeing. Okay? Anyway, in the video, she basically was like, let me know if y'all, seeing anything like this. I've met reptilians, shapeshifters, different beings, people like they, especially in the malls, like I feel like that's their training centers, like where they actually learn how to interact with humans. Because people in the malls and sometimes in these movie theaters, they don't seem real. They don't seem human. I had a video go viral on TikTok. It had like 3.9 million views, and I was talking about my reptilian encounter when I was at the mall. But anyway, what I have to say about that video is I was talking to my mom the other day about this very thing because we was talking about bloodlines and generational curses. And I was like, Mom, I'm seeing something. She was like, what are you seeing? And I said, I'm seeing a man who has a breathing mask on. And the breathing mask is connected to tubes that is connected with everybody in the bloodline. And the tubes are being cut. Like we're cutting the tubes within in the bloodline. And it's causing him to not be able to breathe. And I'm like, this is an entity that's been attached to the blood. It's like assigned to the bloodline. It's like the egregore, the entity assigned to the bloodline. I'm like, what if this? And I'm talking to my mom. I'm like, what if this is going on within other families? Like these different entities that are assigned to the blood, to the bloodline, to keeping the frequency a specific way. And the more he's able to breathe, the stronger he gets in his ability to interfere with other people coming in and trying to help them. Like everybody comes here, everybody got their spirit team that come here, and people that they have contracts with to kind of help them break the curses, break the chains that has been in the blood and been in the DNA, been in the veil of it all. I was explaining to her, I'm like, the stronger he gets, the more he gets to engage and interfere with other people coming in to kind of like make things worse. If you know what the law of attraction is, basically you attract more of what you are, right? So if there's this curse within the bloodline, you're gonna attract more people who are activated by that curse and who can really circulate that curse energy and allow the entity to continue to keep breathing. But what
Gotcha, sis. Gotcha. We got you. Didn't mean to cut her off, but you got the point. You got the point, folks. Okay? Stay aware, stay informed, stay knowledgeable. More to be so with us, love.